What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Profit Playbook DFS. My name is Jaime Hernandez, and today we will be looking at DraftKings NFL Week 1 Main Slate. Okay? We'll go ahead and get, before we get started, it was a pretty good Thursday and Friday night football. We already had a few players go off, right? Both quarterbacks on both winning teams went off. Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert, and Herbert's receivers, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, and also Thad McConkey got a little bit of love there. But anyways, let's get back into Sunday's main slate. I mean, that we've been waiting for this since the Super Bowl, right? And it's so exciting to have football back. Whether it's college football or NFL, they're both back. But let's go ahead and get started. And we have a few teams and games that you should be targeting with pretty high totals, like the Tampa Bay Atlanta game, the Cincinnati Cleveland game, and Carolina Jacksonville game is pretty good as well. It's you can stack a few plays there, and also like single teams. You have the Cincinnati Bengals 26.5 team total. Jacksonville about 25 points, and Arizona 25, Green Bay 25. Expected team total plays there. So let's go ahead and start off with the quarterbacks. We can go ahead and look at Jayden Daniels. He's also the most expensive on the slate. But I mean, what can we say? He's Jayden Daniels, second year in the NFL. A lot of people think that he's been figured out, or they're going to figure him out because he's not a rookie anymore. But they got better at receiver. They just added Deebo Samuel Jr. from the 49ers, and Scary Terry got signed as well. And I mean, his upside is elite due to his rushing and passing. I mean, he's easily the number one quarterback on the board. At 7,000, I mean, he's worth it. Let's see, you can go solo with Daniels or in a little skinny stack, with one of his receivers. But anyways, let's go to the number 2, and that we go to, my opinion, the best value on the slate in Trevor Lawrence. When they did add receivers there. Speaking about let's see, speaking about receivers, they added. I mean, they just added Travis Hunter, right? And then they also have Brian Thomas Jr. there, which is another value at his position, which we'll get to soon. And they also added Dyami Brown from the Washington Commanders, right? But I mean, he's got the highest projected plus minus in points per salary on the DraftKings among quarterbacks, right? So, I mean, he's a great play, I would say, especially stacking him, um, you know, with Brian Thomas Jr. And you can go ahead and bring him back with either, with either or WR1 or WR2 from the Carolina Panthers, whether that's Ted McMillan or Mr. What is the other dude's name? It was like legit. But anyways, we're talking about quarterbacks here. So Trevor Lawrence, he's the best value and he's a core play as well. And then you can also, I normally highlight about 3 quarterbacks. The other quarterback you can use, I'm gonna name 2 other more quarterbacks on there. Will be Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow, I mean, not much ceiling with his legs, but he's one of the best pure passers in the league. And even then, last year he was averaging 24 points per game when it comes to fantasy, right? He correlates with the slate's top wide receiver ceiling, right, which is Jamar Chase. So you can go ahead and pair him up with that. And, it should be a good game. I mean, Cleveland, they have a pretty good defense, but this is about Joe Burrow. Their offensive line is not the greatest, so and their defense is not the greatest. But I mean, they're going to be slinging it all game long. So Joe Burrow, I love it actually. I love Joe Burrow for Sunday, and then you can either, go to, I said two more, but I mean, let's do two more. You can go ahead and go with Drake May or Daniel Jones as cash options. I mean, it's value. Drake May, he finished the year strong. And let's see here. He gets Las Vegas. Las Vegas. I mean, um, they got a new coaching staff there. They do have Ashton Genty, and they have Brock Bowers. So I believe they are going to be scoring some points. And then New England, they should as well, especially with Drake May on the helm. For his price, he's a viable value cash option there. And then you can also go with Daniel Jones. Let's see here. Lots of people making fun of him, right? But when it comes with Daniel Jones, you saw what he did with the Giants. I mean, he was either he went off, right, slate breaking potential, or he was a bust, right? Now, I mean, he's got a pretty good quarterback. I mean, he has Saquon Barkley, so he's got a pretty good running back. My bad, Saquon Barkley with the Giants. Now, he's got another really good running back in the Colts, and he's got a few wide receivers there. I feel like this Colts offensive line was way better than the Giants offensive line, so he is in play. He's in play for slate breaking potential, or a decent amount of fantasy points, between 18 to about 20 fantasy points. Or of course, he's also a complete bust, right? So I would say Daniel Jones, uh, value for cash, but slate breaking potential for GPPs there. Let's go with our running backs. Let's see. Let's go with our running backs here. Of course, the ceiling spend up and obvious spend up of the slate, as you can see based off the price tag, is Bijan Robinson. I'm not being biased here. I did draft him as my at number 2. I drafted him in my fantasy football league. But anyways, I'm not being biased here. I mean, he's just the easiest spend up. I mean, he's gonna have an elite workload, and it's one of the higher scoring games on the slate, right? So I mean, he has the highest medium and floor and ceiling for a running back. So I mean, as you can tell based on the pricing on Bijan Robinson, and of course he's got a new quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. Um, New as in starting uh, quarterback at the beginning of the season. Of course, he had a few games with Bijan, and he did pretty well with him. So I mean, with the massive workload on there in a run-heavy scheme, he should be getting a lot of opportunities to score in this game. Even versus Tampa Bay's front, I mean, he already smashed this matchup. In their most recent game, which was, let's see here, Tampa Bay. He had week 8. He had a 23.6 fantasy points, right? And then you also go. I mean, he had a dud here, complete dud, week 5, right? But look at how strong he finished here. It was one of the best running backs. Look at that finish, man. So you got Bijan Robinson there um, as the top spend up, and then you can also go for value. You can go to Arizona and James Conner. He's always a safety. Uh, he's always a safe play. There's always, you know, when it comes to him, and it's not just a safe play. He also has potential to completely go off. And they are playing this New Orleans Saints, which I believe, and a lot of people believe, that might be the worst team in football this year. And if they get on a pretty good lead early on, I mean, he's going to be getting a lot of rushing attempts, right? So he's there. I love another. He's another guy I love. And then another mid-range, you can go with Chase Brown with possibly the number 1 offense in the league, right? uh, he can get you those 13 fantasy points, 14, right? But then he can also go off and get you those 26, 24, almost 30, 24, 23 fantasy points there. He's a decent mid-range as well. And we already spoke about slate breaking potential with Daniel Jones, a quarterback. Now we can go ahead and do the same with Devon on a chain here. Um, he's he should be good to go. No injury designation for Sunday's game against the Colts. So I mean uh, with a healthy Tua Tagovailoa, we see his potential there 29, 23, right? Limited touches as well 32, 26, 20, 20, 21, 34. So of course he's had some games with 5 fantasy points, 10 fantasy points, but he's had those 30 plus fantasy points as well. So Devon a chain, he's another guy you can use for GPPs. Um, I mean, imagine that Devon, yeah, Devon a chain, right? He goes off. Daniel Jones goes off. You'll be in a great spot come Sunday afternoon. And then let's go to wide receivers. Once again, we're going to highlight the top, uh, the most expensive guy on the slate. But I mean, it's because he's Jamar Chase. He just is fresh of winning the Triple Crown last year. Um, but I mean, what can we say? The Bengals, they've emphasized about starting fast, and he's also has multiple 40 DraftKings points game in his range, as you can see here. 58.4, 48.1, right? Um, and then versus Cleveland, another 44.3, 32. I mean, the ceiling is there. Versus Cleveland, 17.6 last year, and then he also had versus Cleveland, the 22.4 fantasy point game. I mean, there's not much else to say about Jamar Chase. I mean, he's easily the number one player on the slate. And if you want to go with value, we can go with Emeka and Buka, Tampa Bay. I mean, you know, with Chris Godwin out and I believe McMillan, out as well. Uh, like Buka definitely projects as the top wide receiver value by plus minus, right, on both DraftKings and FanDuel. I mean, we're focusing on DraftKings here. But I mean, he's day one usage should be up there. Of course, besides Mike Evans, he should be the alpha receiver there. And the Falcons, they've allowed the third most wide receiver DraftKings points to the position last year. I mean, he's a pretty good bring back, right? If you're um, stacking on the Atlanta side, or he's a good stack on the Tampa Bay side, and maybe bring back with Bijan Robinson. So he's someone when it comes to value, top value pick as well. And let's go to the mid tier, which is one of my favorite plays of the slate, which I already mentioned when we were mentioning Trevor Lawrence, is Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, not much to say about him. He went completely bonkers last year as a rookie. Look at that 35.5, 31.2, 23.9, 20.3, right, to close out the year. Of course, he's had those duds here, but I mean, he's there, man. I mean, his ceiling is there, especially at the price tag 6,800. You can definitely go ahead and spend that much money with Trevor Lawrence at 5,300. I believe that's a perfect stack, right? Um, and then you can go to Drake London as well from Atlanta. So, I mean, with Drake London, he's had these fantasy points 36.4, right? 19.4, 17.3. He finished the year with Michael Penix Jr. On a high note, right? 14.3, 10.9, 20.6, and then He went on a banger, 43.7 fantasy points versus Carolina. Um, so I mean, he's there too. The ceiling is there for Drake London, and then you can go ahead and put uh Ted McMillan, like I mentioned earlier, and he's definitely a great play. Um, if you're doing, let's say, like that lineup I'm building right now, Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., right? It'll be a great bring back option. There's not much on McMillan's stats, right? He's a rookie. He's projected to be used a ton. Bryce Young was one of the better quarterbacks to finish off the year. I mean, of course, he was benched early on in the year, but he turned it up as of late. But that's it when it comes to receivers. Unless you want to, you know, differentiate yourself when it comes to GPP tournaments instead of spending up for Jamar Chase, you can go ahead and get his partner instead, T. Higgins, right? You could go ahead and do that. But let's go to tight ends here. I mean, if you're spending up for tight ends, I truly believe it's going to be for Trey McBride. He does have the highest ceiling out of tight ends, I would say. Um, I mean, he's tight end one, tight end two, Bowers or vice versa. But I mean, I believe on Sunday, Trey McBride has the higher ceiling of the two. Uh, just look at this right here, tight end one numbers. He should have a great game versus the worst team in the league, in my opinion. And then you have David Njoku from Cleveland. He should be decent, especially as a safety valve for Joe Flacco. Not much else there. And then if you want to go value, right, you can go ahead and go with Mr. All Reliable and Hunter Henry, right? He has decent fantasy games. Of course, he has those occasional duds, but I mean, he's pretty safe, I would say, for his price range. I mean, what else are we going to ask for him? I mean, if he has those ceiling games, perfect. But if not, I mean, he should still be solid there. And you can go ahead and go to defense. I mean, when it comes to defense, right, most of the time you normally spend down. But a few options. The Broncos, I would say. The Broncos are pretty good. I mean, that's the highest salary defense there at 3,800 versus Tennessee. They are playing a rookie in Ward, but that offense has Calvin Ridley, has Ward himself. But that's the top option in my book, the Broncos. And then from that, the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the New York Jets. Um, I mean, Justin Fields, he can expose the Steelers defense with his legs. But I mean, Steelers defense is a Steelers defense, and you can go with the New York Giants, New York Football Giants, as a pump play. But that's pretty much about it. Let's see here. And like I mentioned, I mean, we can go ahead and go to the stacks, right? My favorite game stacks there. You can go to Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. That's what I have on the screen right now. And with Ted McMillan as a bringback, which is exactly what I have on the screen, which is going to be one of the most used lineups or most used stacks for me this week. Um, but yeah, I mean Lawrence, he leads the slate in value metrics, right? Panthers, Jags both created terribly on defense last year, and the concentrated volume to Thomas Jr. Is there. And for McMillan, I mean he's a clean bring back. He's a rookie, but that shouldn't matter. That's why there's players that win Rookie of the Years for a reason, and he's in that conversation this year. Another stack, you can go to the Cincinnati Cleveland game with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. And like I mentioned, if you want to be different, you can just go ahead and do Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. But the best bring back, in my opinion, will be David Njoku. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone else there. I mean, maybe you want to go with wide receiver for Cleveland. You can do that with Judy, right? But I believe the safest play is David Njoku as a bring back to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And then after that, you can go ahead and do a mini stack at the Tampa Bay Atlanta game. Um, let's see here. I believe we didn't mention much on the, let's see, Detroit and Green Bay game, which I believe has the highest total on the slate, but I will be avoiding that game. I know you. I mean, you can go ahead and do Gibbs, right? Gibbs, you know, you have Sun God over there, a wide receiver. You got Williams there. I mean, there's so many plays there, but I believe there's a lot of people are going to be on them, and especially on the rookie Matthew Golden for Green Bay. But anyways, I will be missing. I will not be playing any players on that game. Um, let's see. That Tampa Bay Atlanta, you can do Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka, right? With Drake London there, and they should pair well, I would say. But that's it. When it comes to the cash core quarterback, you can go with Jayden Daniels or Trevor Lawrence. Running backs, you can definitely go with Bijan and James Conner. Wide receivers, you can definitely go with Chase and Brian Thomas Jr. Or if you want to go with Mike Evans, if you still believe that he's a elite WR1. I mean, he is, of course, based on his volume. You can go there as well. Tight end, of course, Trey McBride. I mean, he's top tight end for me this week. And then the defense, I mean, one of the Steelers, Cardinals, Jets, Giants. Um, I mean, we did talk about the Broncos, right? But these save you a little bit more salary on there. And even though I didn't really get much into it, I do believe the Cardinals might be the highest ceiling defense this week since they are playing the New Orleans Saints. And then once again, the GPP leverage ideas that I had and I mentioned, it's running back a chain from Miami, right? Um, he's over similar. I would say play him over the similarly priced chalk running backs on there. Yep, you had to bet on the raw ceiling on this guy. All he needs is a few touches, and he's gonna go completely bonkers. And then T. Higgins in Cincinnati, you can flip him for Chase or flip Chase for him. And then because Chase ownership is gonna be crazy, so you can go ahead and do T. Higgins on there, and then Hunter Henry tight end, for GPP. Like, he has solid games. He has those dud games, but he also has ceiling games on there. So Hunter Henry at tight end for GPPs. And then when it comes to fades, I only have one player. Of course, game I have one of the highest scoring games on the slate, Detroit and Green Bay. You can call me crazy for that, but player wise, Tony Pollard, running back, right? 5,700 on there. I would say fade them. They're playing Denver. Denver's defense is pretty great. That's my fade of the week on there. But just make sure to prioritize one premium wide receiver like Chase, right? And one running back like Bijan. They're going to be chalky, but if you miss out on the chalk and they go off, I mean, they're going to be playing catch up on there. And then just keep the stacks tight week one, I would say. Normally you want a quarterback and two receivers and a bring back, right? I would say maybe quarterback, one receiver. I mean, if you love a game that much that you can fit in two, perfect. Um, and then make sure to bring back someone on there if it supports it as well. You don't want to just bring back someone just to bring him back. But yeah, the Jacksonville, Carolina, and Cincinnati, Cleveland. Those are pretty good games on there that you should target. I mean, Detroit, Green Bay, that's a fantastic game to target, but like I said, I'm not going to be targeting that game. Instead, I'll be targeting the Tampa Bay and Atlanta game, plus the ones I just mentioned here. But that's it. That's the Week 1 main slate breakdown for the Profit Playbook DFS. Once again, I'm Jaime Hernandez. Thanks for locking in with me today. And please like, subscribe, and share. And drop your favorite value in the comments. And I'll see you for the next episode. let's go ahead and cash those lineups, yeah? Have a great Sunday and enjoy football. Football is back, baby.